Tomorrow we're getting our trees trimmed, so I thought I'd show some before and after. Alright, so here's what they look like now. Pretty much a mess. Lots of deadwood in there. A lot of these will come out and get cleaned up. We have a arborist coming who actually knows trees. He'll save what he can and get rid of the deadwood. Well, that'll be interesting. Okay, so we got a little bit of snow this morning. We're waiting for our tree guy to come and clean these up. And that's what they look like before the cutting. There's a lot of dead wood in there. It'll be nice to get those cleaned up. They're going to be a lot healthier. They'll grow a lot better, and we'll get more sunshine. Okay, when they showed up, the snow starting to come down really heavy. And most of the morning, this is what they had to work in. It didn't stop them. We were so impressed with the progress and the quick work they made of getting down these gnarly trees. And it was really fun to see some of this happen. Whoa. So I guess you don't hear a tree if you're not outside. Anyway, they just kept working diligently, and all day long. There's a lot of work to this. They didn't, they'll be back tomorrow, and I'll have part 2 on this video tomorrow, so you can actually see the cleanup process, and they'll do some more trimming. But these trees, which are probably 100 to 150 years old, really have not been cleaned up at all, because the previous owner of the property didn't want them touched. And kind of a shame, because they would have been a lot healthier. They did create a great covering, but
which way does he want it to
they
fall?
just needed to be cleaned up. So that's the event for today. In this video, you'll see some fun downfalls, and it's always great to see professionals do their job and do it well. Some of these sections I've fast forwarded in fast time, and then some sections I slowed down, like when the trees were falling, because I thought that was just kind of cool. So that's Matt. He's the main guy for the tree company. You can see all those speckles. That's snow. We had heavy snow over the course of the morning. We probably got about 8 to 10 inches. Okay, watch this. Wow, how he judged that is amazing, because our house was probably only another 10 feet away. But he knew. He just knew it was going to be safe to do that. Yeah, those trees really bounce around after they fall. So what you're seeing really took place over the course of an entire day. I didn't film everything. I just tried to get some of the highlights, because it's rare to be able to see tree trimmers at work. It's it was such a mess. And his helper is amazing too. One thing I didn't realize is how you have to be such an acrobat. Okay, here comes another tree. It just barely missed him, but he knew exactly what he was doing. That's Sam, his helper, cutting up. They made piles, and tomorrow they'll come in with skidster and throw them in the dumpster thing they got. Look at the snow. I mean, it's crazy. This was a tough one to get through. Then the cool thing, I don't know if I have a footage of it or not, after that was cut away, he made a tabletop out of the rest of it that was left. So that's kind of cool. This was a tough one for Matt. It was so thick. He had to really work at it. Yeah, and then his saw ended up getting stuck in there. What a bummer. We got some wedges and worked at it. Meanwhile, Sam's over here cutting out this big gnarly thing that had all those trees, way too many. Trying to figure out the best way to cut through that. It's probably about 4 feet wide. But he did it. As Matt's ferociously working at getting this one down. It was kind of fun to see them both working. They both had really hard jobs right there. Okay, after a lot of work, this is about finally ready to go. Yay, finally he got that. You're just sizing up this other mess of trees. Trying to figure out the best way to approach that. Not those, but the next one's over. And the other big grouping, just loaded with deadwood. And they did a really good job so far cutting out a lot of the deadwood. I think they still have a little bit left to go. But Matt's helper was up there on the ladder trimming. Look at that. Up there on the ladder trimming those dead branches and stuff. And it's snowing and oh my gosh. So impressed.
he's gonna drop that other tree there and get it cleaned up, and then we'll be able to.
Okay, he's about got that one down. We left and took a break, and here's a view from the street. You can kind of see the piles of, well, you can't see too well, but I'll show you that tomorrow. Watch for our part 2 of this video tomorrow. Now, when we got back, Matt was working over here on the roof of this building, and oh my gosh, it was a mess over there. He said there was like 3 feet of timber, and there were actually roots growing in all of the junk that was on top of the roof. I'm surprised their roof never caved in. But anyway, that was a tough part. He probably spent, I don't know, 3 hours maybe. That was a big job over there. And he is quite the acrobat. The way he swings around on these trees and using the chainsaw and everything, oh my gosh. It's quite a job. looks like a hangman. Okay, as soon as they left, the deer started coming over. They just love these willow twigs, and we had about 12 deer in the yard. Watch for tomorrow's video. There will be a part 2 to this as we see the end results. Thanks for watching and subscribe.